And it is Monday morning. I don't think the stream has started yet. I have no idea. So we'll see if it's actually started. But good morning, Ryan. Are you really happy and excited as I am today? I'm in like Ryan mode today because I'm exhausted. So how are you?
Yeah, welcome to my life. Yeah, I'm pretty tired as well, but
Ryan's
I'm
still in prison.
yeah, I'm still in prison. I told people that I was doing my penance for, I'm in Ukraine right now. I feel like people are like, "Oh, Russian money." And I was like, "Let me do my duty. Let me go over to Ukraine, see what it's like over here." There's a lot of parties going on. I don't really know. I'm trying to track down a bunch of money, but here we are.
Yeah, I had there were storms last night here in the area all night, and my dogs bark a lot when there's thunder. Oh my goodness. And they would not shut up last night.
I've never had a dog like that.
Yeah.
Like I when it fucking stormed, they just fucking chill. Man, they might go to bed or something, but they don't just sit there and bark at the clouds. So I've been lucky to never have any dogs that are that dumb.
Yeah, I got little to no sleep last night. So I'm in a great mood today. My social battery is running really low. But we have things to talk about. It was a crazy weekend. There was a lot to talk about. I did 2 streams yesterday after the latest situation going on with the former president of the United States and future president of the United States. But that's not what this show is about.
Well, it is kind of. This man is dragging my good name through the mud. Okay. Not that I have that good of a name, but it's disrespectful to Ryans everywhere. Okay?
Yeah.
Or effort, to be honest. So.
Yeah. Good old named Ryan. Not shocking to many people, for sure. Raven,
what's the middle name? Ryan something Ralph, right?
It's something Ralph. We'll start with a W. God,
yeah, like Ryan Weatherby Ralph or something.
Yeah.
That's why I said whenever you have these people, like if someone gets referred to by all three names, Wesley.
Yeah.
If someone gets referred to by all 3 names, that's not a good thing. Like that's whenever if you're above the age of like fucking 13 and you get referred to by all 3 of your names and it's not your mom when she's mad at you, you've probably done something really fucked up in your life. You're either like an assassin or a serial killer or something.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So, and yeah, I guess like you keep seeing like his name like on his social media, like on Facebook. I think he was just like Ryan Ralph was his name, or Ruth, or whatever you pronounce it. But then like he kept getting reported as like his 3 names. You're like, oh, 3 names is there. Oh, it's bad when there's the 3rd name out there.
Whenever stuff like this happens, I always think about like the poor bastards that have like the same name that people find, and how fucking dare you?
Yeah.
And, start going after them on social media.
Yeah, absolutely. Raven Black Sparrow with 10 gifted memberships to start us out, getting the party started early. We like that type of party around here. And yeah, other than that, this weekend, I don't know, man, it was storming here all weekend. It was on and off. So it was just kind of like a gloomy weekend, generally speaking. And then the times that it wasn't, storming, I just did yard work. So it's kind of a boring weekend for me.
Thanks for the fucking update.
I'm sorry
it was so cloudy and gloomy that it really affected your mood, Jeremy.
No, it didn't. It affected my fucking sleep. Why are you so angry? Oh, never mind.
This is my status quo. It has nothing to do with any storms that went by.
And we have football. And Jason Yankovic says Vikings 2-0 and the left wing hate 0-2.
A lot of correlation there.
I wonder how many celebrities had to change their Emmy speeches from attacking Trump to attacking Vance. Yeah.
Did you even know the Emmys was last night?
I had no idea. That's how irrelevant these shows are.
I didn't know until I just started seeing random clips on social media. But yeah, I think it is because it used to always be on Sundays, right? And then they switched it to Mondays for a while or some other day, because honestly, on a Sunday, who fucking cares? It's fucking football going on. Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the would-be assassin picked a bad day to do it. He would have got way more news coverage if he'd have done it not on a Sunday. Because people are very distracted by football at the time.
Yep. Yeah, Emmy. Did we even know who won any of the? So the Emmys were last night. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, the Emmys were last night. I know that so Shogun was up for a lot of awards. I think it might have been the most nominated show. And I honestly did not watch all of Shogun. I'm about halfway through it. I enjoyed it, but it's not something I felt like I really needed to come back to at all. And it requires a lot of reading, Not a big fan of I like reading books. I don't like reading my TV shows.
Yeah.
I don't like anime, right? But but I know the actress for that one, and it's the first Asian fucking person to win this. Congratulations. I know John Leguizamo was up there saying, I'm a DEI hire.
Did he say that?
He did, but
my God.
but he like tried to make a joke about it. What was it? He was like, the D is for diligence, the E is for excellence, and the I is for imagination. It's something like that.
God.
And we're going to talk a little bit about that today because I saw this hilarious article from the Hollywood Reporter. Because there have been a lot of DEI exits at these major companies. And I don't think the activism is going away. I think the activists are still going to remain there. But I think for all intents and purposes, DEI as like a brand, so to speak, it really is fucking DOA. It is dead because it has such a bad connotation. Everyone's getting rid of all their fucking DEI stuff that they started up in 2020, Summer of Love, all this stuff. They're getting rid of it because they know how cancerous the word really is. And they got to rebrand into something else.
It does feel like there's kind of a shift overall that's happening, but it's going to take a lot of time for that to be fully realized for sure. And it's just across the board with how you're seeing things. The video game industry is a complete and total fucking disaster right now. Hollywood's a shit show. Everything they're producing, all of the big things that they're putting out. Rings of Power, isn't it down like 50-something% viewership right now? Rings of Power.
Rings of Power is rough. It's a big drop off from season 1 to season 2. And we don't have the first official Nielsen ratings yet. But we do have the Luminate ratings, which are usually a pretty good estimate for streaming minutes. And it's not good news for them.
Yeah, and then obviously, the show. There was this show, The Acolyte, that was canceled. I don't know if anybody even knows what that is, since no one actually watched it. Complete and total failure. And there's a lot of rumors about a lot of other projects that could be, in trouble. So at the end of the day, people don't care about these things. We were right the whole time. They don't care about identity politics. They care about good storytelling, good character development. Don't really care what the character looks like or their background or their sexual orientation. They just care about good people. Generally speaking, just care about good storytelling. So wokeness is getting rejected across the board, and that's a good thing. But it's still, we're not anywhere near out of the woods yet, for sure. Not at all. Not even close. So prison wife Gary says, Ryan, last night was great. Don't forget my cigs.
I ain't fucking paying you for that. That's for sure. You need to pay me if I remember right.
Let's see. Andrew CR says it is now justified that Ryan formally changes his name to Brian Colonel. Is it Colonel? Is that what it says? Yeah, Brian Colonel. So there you go.
I'm good.
You've got to change your name legally, Ryan. Look, this chat said it, not me. So it must be true. You know what I mean? So Tobias for 10 says, so last night I got to see a movie that has a black main character directed by a Jewish man and is one of the funniest movies I've seen. A movie that could be made today, Blazing Saddles. 50 years. Has it been 50 years? I guess it has. No, it's been more than 50, hasn't it?
Ask Gary. I don't know.
Yeah, Gary would know.
He's
Gary has an autographed, like personally autographed copy of the Bible.
Yeah,
it's pretty impressive, man. It's pretty impressive. That's how he's got so many subs. He just he's got a lot of stories. They're authentic too. I mean, you cannot replace authenticity on YouTube. So when you have that
Gary,
many
what
years,
was it like wandering through the desert with Moses? Where does everybody think he was just lost, or like did they have faith in him? Yeah. Be a good question to ask Gary.
Oh man. Yellow Flash is in the chat. What's up, Yellow Flash? So have you seen Am I Racist yet, or is that just a question?
I haven't. I have not had the opportunity to. Obviously, you fucking people keep talking about this. I'm out of town right now. I will be back at my setup probably Friday or Saturday. So just calm the fuck down. But no, I haven't had time. I have not had time to go see Am I Racist? So I'm probably going to do it next weekend. I really want to see it though.
Yeah, I want to see it too. And I, the woke mob is. I'm gonna make a video on the woke mob going after Jeremy Johns simply because he did something really bad. Ryan, he
reviewed a movie.
He
out in
reviewed the
theaters.
movie.
Yeah.
Holy shit! So the reaction has been wild on that one. I see Epic Mike is crying for a shout out. How pathetic is that to cry? I would never have anybody on my channel just like always wanting a shout out. Never. Yeah. Never. We'd never have anybody on Geeks Gamers Daily that's always asking for shout outs. Would never happen. I would not.
If Jade spent all that time he asked for shout outs making more videos, he would have hit 100K 2 years ago.
That is true. That is true. But yeah, so I plan on going to see it this week as well. I mean, Matt Walsh, obviously, me and him have had our differences, but it does look like this particular, like, What Is a Woman was fantastic. I think this is a whole different kind of tone, and with the what approach he's going with than What Is a Woman. What Is a Woman was fantastic, though. It's really good. If that would have been released in theaters, that would have been really good for them too. But because of how much traction it got on social media, but this is getting equal, if not more, just simply because of the title alone.
A $5 million opening, opening a little over 1,000 theaters, I think. It'll be interesting to see how it does and how it does next weekend and what the total run is going to be. I think that it could be good for them. I think estimates are this costs somewhere like $2 to $3 million total to produce, which is fairly cheap. I heard a quote that Matt Walsh said it costs like 15% of whatever Borat costs to make, which is around 18 or $20 million. And because he was like kind of using that as a people that were saying it's not okay for you to go in there and fake these things, blah blah. He's like, did you complain about Borat? Like when he's going in there and trolling people? No, you fucking didn't. Because it was Rudy Giuliani and Ron Paul and people like that. You didn't have any problem with him doing that. But Matt Walsh goes out there and does it to race grifters, and this is what we see.
These people on social media, the woke activists, man, these some of the most pathetic losers I've ever seen in my life. And so I find so much joy in them being fake offended over the smallest little thing in the world. So yeah, I'm planning on making a video about the meltdown for sure. It's going to be good. And I see like even the drinker is responding to a couple of these tweets going after John's. So it's really funny. It's really funny indeed.
I haven't even watched his review. So, maybe he hates it. I don't know. Maybe he likes it.
No, he gave it a review. He's fine with it. He just gave it a review. That's all he did. It's not like he came in there with like a MAGA hat on or some shit. He reviewed a fucking movie by someone that these weirdos hate. And because he reviewed a movie that these weirdos hate, or they don't believe that they don't believe Matt Walsh even deserves to be mentioned on a channel like Jeremy's. That's essentially what it comes down to. I can't believe that you're highlighting this dangerous film. It's like, oh my God, you fucking weirdos.
Yeah, when you have a massive, I don't know how many subs he has at this point.
I'm like sure 2 million.
It's massive. You're gonna have a handful of people that are subscribers to your channel where, like, if they see even a fucking hint of that thing, they're gonna be, fuck this, blah blah blah. So, I don't know how much backlash there really is to the video, at all. I just saw a couple screenshots floating around of people complaining that he had reviewed it.
Yeah,
that's all.
So we'll get into that though. I plan on seeing it this week if possible, because it does look interesting. All right.
Animating Andy for 55 euros. Quite a week y'all been through, getting falsely accused and dragged, but I find it kind of ironic that a $180 million garbage show didn't get drunk 3P over 100K subs, but his friends going through rough times did. All in all, worked out for y'all. Jay owes you.
Well, to be fair, the Acolyte did get him like tens of thousands of subscribers. It's just that the show ended as he was getting to the tail end of that. I think he was like 96 or 97 when the show ended.
Got him more subs than it did Disney Plus, is for sure.
Yeah, it certainly did. So he got a huge bump off of that. So, but I am happy Jay got there. And now he's just gonna be like, man, all I want to do is hit 1 million, man. That's all I want to do. If I just
Yeah,
I can just hit 1,000,000, man.
that's all I want. I remember when it was 10K.
Yes.
I remember way back in the day, it was like, man, if I can just hit 10K, I'll be happy. I won't need anything else. T-Dog for 199. Thoughts on RoboCop Rogue City, Netflix or Hulu? I have no thoughts.
Yeah, I haven't. As far as Netflix or Hulu, are you asking out of those two? I can't comment on Rogue City, but I don't have I don't have Hulu. The only couple of times I signed up for Hulu a long time ago because there was something on there, but this was a time where everything had ads in it. I don't know if they still have run ads, even if there's a service, if there's a package that they don't offer ads, but everything on Hulu, this is years ago, still had ads in them. So
yeah, they have premium, but again, people are going to keep jacking up the price of premium and keep really lowering the price of ad-based tiers because they desperately want you to watch those ads. Because it is they can make so much more money off of you if they can deliver those ads to you than they can if you're paying the premium.
Yeah, so Netflix has the best UI of any of these streaming services. At least that I only have a couple, but just the user interface for Netflix is just so much better than even like Amazon Prime's. Amazon Prime's is still kind of clunky at times for me. I remember Apple TVs was pretty nice, but I only used that for like a couple of weeks when I wanted to watch Tetris. I think it was Tetris that was on there. So I got like the free trial so I could watch Tetris. And I was like, oh, this actually runs pretty good.
Keenan Endenu for 2. Have you seen the show The Zach Files? Nope.
I have not.
Zach Morris. Succulent Juice for 5. Oh, hey, I caught it live for once. Thanks for the entertainment, guys. You're welcome, Mr. Juice. Ron Cook for 2. Ryan having a bad hair day, worse than normal. I just need a haircut. So I picked a bad time to be busy this week, but I'll get a haircut in a week or so. Adam Twamley for 199. Ryan's angry because his wig won't sit right. That's true. Black Kane for 5. Prison Ryan is actually what happens when the CIA calls him up for a week, and now we'll hear about some shithole country's government has collapsed. But here's the thing. You won't hear about it. Jade Phoenix for 2. Ryan, your toupee is crooked. I promise you, if it was a toupee or a wig, it would be covering more of my forehead. Maximus for 199. Are you retarded? Kuma for 5. Just order the IDOT shirt. Shout out from the 210 San Antonio.
We'll be in San Antonio or near. Are we gonna be in San Antonio or near it for SpaceCon? It's right there, right?
Gonna be in it, yes.
Yeah. So that's SpaceCon. That's at the end of October. We'll be at SpaceCon. And also we're doing a Friday Night Tights meetup earlier that week. So you've got to go to, I think Gary has everything listed on nerdrotic.com. And so we're going to be there and it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, tomorrow is the day that our shirt sale ends for IDOT of the 199, our mascot, our Geeks Gamers mascot, our SpaceCon shirt. Tomorrow's the final day that you can get it. I'll talk about that a little bit later, and we'll promote that towards the end of the show.
Pre-Dawn Corpse for 5. Ryan and Dave Filoni's Gimp Dungeon, and it ain't by force. Stephen DeLeon for 2. What's with this new Goonies are making?
That has been reported for years, and I don't think it's been confirmed yet.
I don't know.
I'm
not a big Goonies guy.
What?
Yeah, I never got into it when I was younger. I was like, okay, retard. Okay.
Oh man,
you know me. I'm like, when it's about fucking like,
yeah, I know when there's a bunch
of kids getting together. I usually don't like those shows or movies.
But you did
that I do like Stand By Me. I
like
really
Stranger Things. You did when you finally watched it. You finally watched
Stranger Things a lot. But I don't know some of the other shit.
You're such a miserable fuck.
What? I'm not. I don't hate Goonies or anything. It's just like I could never get into it. People like Jay have fucking tattoos and shit about it, and I'm like, cool.
Oh man.
Awesome. Orangutan for 199. Who dat? Dude, the Saints look fucking. Derek Carr maybe spent the summer getting really upset at people that insulted him.
Oh, the
Saints
Cowboys
look
just suck
insane.
too. Cowboys do suck. So
I don't think they suck that bad. The Saints scored 40 points
I
back-to-back
know.
weeks against the
Yeah.
Panthers and the Cowboys. Like, the Cowboys are not the Panthers. Logan Johnson, like Rings of Power, the Acolyte isn't canon. Try to change my mind. I dare you. Hail, you guys. Also love Blazing Saddles. Need more movies like that again.
Yeah, that'll be when you truly know that things have shifted, when we start getting offensive movies again. Which there's a massive lack of offensive movies, and we need both. We need a lot more of those.
Nandy O for 199 hashtag free BK Outpost. Did you see that Vince Vaughn interview when he did like the Wings thing, like maybe a month ago, where he talked about like comedies in the modern day entertainment industry?
I heard about it. I didn't actually watch it, but I did hear about it going around about the state of comedy and everything like that.
Yeah, like when you said that about offensive humor and stuff, it's a good watch from Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, we do, man. I mean, offensive comedies, are something that's always been pretty awesome. And now you have people like, God, you remember back when like the 40-Year-Old Virgin came out, and then Seth Rogen was introduced, and now, or at least that was my introduction to Seth Rogen. Was that his first prominent role? I mean, he wasn't like a star in the movie, but he had a standout role in that movie. But that was the first time I remember Seth Rogen in a prominent comedy, though. Am I wrong?
No,
about
I mean
that?
he was in stuff before that. So he was in 40-Year-Old Virgin probably before that.
That's what I just said. I just said that 40-Year-Old Virgin.
I thought you said Super Bad. That's my bad.
No. So did Superbad come before 40-Year-Old Virgin?
I think it came after, right?
Yeah, Superbad came after. So
yeah, that's why I thought you said Super Bad for some reason.
Okay, yeah. No, I said 40-Year-Old Virgin.
40-Year-Old Virgin is probably the first time I can remember a Seth Rogen movie, but I'm sure he was in stuff before.
Yeah. So that came after. Somebody said after. But anyway, my point being is that look at what a pussy that guy has turned out to be. Like, holy shit. He's like the definitive pussy of that whole comedy, like that era of comedy. Now, he is awful. He's truly one of the worst people in Hollywood, man. What a fucking freak. One of the wokest weirdos I've ever seen is him. And
remember the Santa Inc. days, like the Santa Inc. trailer in reaction to that show.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
funny couple months on YouTube.
Yeah, that was wild. Every now and then something pops off like that, man. So that thing, it's all because of Frank Gore. So
it is actually. That is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the first, let's see.
People are saying Freaks and Geeks was his first role.
Yeah. So 40-Year-Old Virgin was his first thing he ever was like involved in. He was a co-producer on the movie.
Okay.
He was an anchor man. He was an anchor man as like a fucking cameraman. Okay. Yeah. But then really the first, he's in Donnie Darko, I suppose. But, yeah.
But yeah, like I remember like him in the 40-Year-Old Virgin. I fucking love that movie, man. I love all the racist jokes in that fucking movie. With there's so much in that movie, man. The Kevin Hart scene. Remember that when he goes into the tech store?
Yeah.
Then I'm not gonna get into it now. The 40-Year-Old Virgin is fantastic. I fucking love that movie. That's the type of offensive humor we need back. We need to bring that shit back. What's up, Rippa? Rippa in the chat. But yeah, 40-Year-Old Virgin might be one of my favorite.
As Jeremy says, I just love all those racist jokes.
Dude, everybody likes racist jokes. Get fucked, Twitter. Go ahead and clip me out saying that. Go fuck yourself, all you fucking weirdos on Twitter. Same people that are probably blocking people because they're black.
Honestly, saying you like racist jokes sounds way less racist than every time a black person appears on screen, you cringing physically, like in the Fallout trailer.
Dude, I love leaning into their bullshit, man. Like, and they fall for it every time. They're like, look at this. Look at this. I know how Twitter works. I like leaning into a lot of the bullshit, and then they clip it out, and then they freak out, and they lose their minds. But then you find out that people like that Kyle Katarn loser blocks black people that disagree with him so he doesn't appear to be racist. That is hilarious. how that whole thing worked out. So
that's my policy too. It just so happens every black person I know completely and totally agrees with me on everything, so I don't have to block anyone.
That's right. Must be nice, Ryan. Must be nice. We need to get into some topics though.
Yeah. Well, speaking of black people, let's talk about DEI in Hollywood. That's a perfect segue, I do believe. Over the course of the last several years, probably starting in 2019, 2020, with a lot of the activism that we saw every single big corporation, including Hollywood, decide to get themselves involved in, that has all backfired tremendously on nearly everyone. Hey, look, we'll virtue signal. We'll care about these things. We'll tell everyone how much we care by posting a black square and by putting gay pride messaging everywhere. All of that is kind of turned around over the last few months and years. And now I saw this article from the Hollywood Reporter, and I couldn't help but remember some previous articles from the Hollywood Reporter. This is back on July 10th. DEI is not DOA, at least not yet. This is, of course, as so many people were pushing back against DEI in Hollywood and really just in general. This is on July 10th. What did we see by July 20th? After a mass exodus of diversity execs, what's next? Because in the subsequent week or two, you saw Disney's head of DEI take a hike. You saw Netflix's head of DEI take a hike, as a lot of these companies are downsizing all of their DEI departments. Now, just a few days ago, this is the headline. DEI departments may be closing, but these 40 Hollywood heavyweights are still agitating for change.
Oh my God.
Ava Longoria, RuPaul, Quinta Brunson, Lily Gladstone, Rami Youssef, and others on THR's Forces for Change Power List speak out on increasing inclusion in the industry despite the economic and social headwinds. So what that means by that is, despite the fact that it costs us money and that we get blasted for it, we still want to push for change. That's what that's saying. What a difference 4 years makes. Back in 2020, companies loudly proclaimed their commitments to DEI via $1 million pledges, conspicuous hires, and black squares on Instagram. These moves have now been walked back, to put it mildly. That's why the work of the people comprising THR's Forces for Change is all the more vital. And I want to go down. They do these little interviews or quotes from these people. This is one that I found so interesting. Kamala Avila Salmon from Lionsgate. It's rare for a DEI exec to have full script-to-screen access and to be on Greenlight committee. Even rarer for one to become a producer, as she did in her signing her first deal. Look, I knew the DEI backslide had begun when woke became a pejorative. Execs once worried about not doing enough to challenge racism are now terrified of offending the other side. And I think that's interesting now. And I don't think these activists are going away, right? These activists are still there. They still want to push this shit. But it's almost an acknowledgement that this entire DEI push has been a spectacular failure, that the word itself is just fucking cancerous at this point, and people are doing everything they can to rebrand and move away from that.
Absolutely. And to be clear, they're always going to exist. So I don't live in this fantasy world where you think that you can just stop people from having opinions. I have no problem with woke activists being out there crying and whining about whatever it is that they think that we need more of. I have a problem when the entire industry has been overrun with that narrative, and then the industry blames the fans for the failure, when the reality of it is no, that's the hypocrisy of the industry, and the fact that you've been overrun by activists like this. Don't give them that. They don't deserve to be hired based on their identity or the social kind of aspect of it. You deserve to be hired based on merit. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. That's why we have laws in this country where you're not supposed to be hiring based on those things. Shout out to Ubisoft for having an anti-male hiring practice, apparently. But
they're not hiring those people, just for the record. But,
the point being is that this is going to continue to fail and fail gloriously. And they are going to try their best to get every little ounce they can out of every little ounce of their victim narrative out of this, because that's ultimately what this comes down to. Is it's building a victim narrative around it. So Ghostbusters 2016, was not made to make money. It was not made to be successful. It was not made to build a cinematic universe. It was made to build a victim narrative. That's what it was made for. Now, I think that The Force Awakens and the Disney Star Wars trilogy, I truly think that they thought that they were at a point now where we can actually take full advantage of this to become successful and build a successful universe off of our diversity, inclusion, and representation bullshit narrative. And they were successful for a short period of time, very successful. But ultimately, you found out real quick that you can only fake this bullshit for so long. It's not sustainable. This is not a sustainable business model. You can fake it with a very popular franchise with very well-known IPs, but at the end of the day, it's still a cancer and it's fool's gold. And even if it's successful at first, you can't sustain that bullshit because there's no sustainability from having this type of universe or these types of movies. Nobody cares about this stuff. Nobody's going to go buy toys and merchandise and build all of this lore and this fandom off of a DEI driven franchise. It's not going to happen. So there's no sustainability whatsoever.
Yeah, it's so funny to watch like that cope happen in real time for Hollywood Reporter. DEI is not going anywhere.
Yet
DEI departments are closing, but there's still a lot of work to be done. DEI is fucking dead, but these activists won't stop fighting. Okay, thank you. And then he got John Leguizamo talking about being a DEI hire at the end.
Do we have a clip of that? Do we have a clip of him saying that line right now?
I don't know if I have a clip. I can read you the quotes though.
Yeah, because the fact that and John Leguizamo was an absolute nut job as well.
He was like, I'm glad to be seen here with my fellow Latinxes. He said something about that when he was live. I saw a clip of that. John Leguizamo celebrates diverse Emmy nominees, urges we need more stories from excluded groups. For years, I didn't complain about the limited roles my people were offered. So for the past few years, I've been complaining. Yes, we can tell. While taking the stage during Sunday night's show, the Emmy-winning actor was quick to point out, I'm one of Hollywood's DEI hires. That's right, DEI. The D is for diligence. The E is for excellence. And the I is for imagination.
Oh, God. Oh, it hurts, man. He thought, you know what that reminds me of? Remember when Chris Christie was at the debate stage when he called Trump Donald Duck, and he thought it was
we're gonna start calling him Donald Duck because he keeps ducking, and he's like starts nodding. He's like, I just got a great clip right now. Holy shit, that's gonna crush. That's amazing. There's gonna be Donald Duck memes tomorrow. I know it.
It was so bad. That sounds to me like he was so proud of himself when he said that. Oh God. He thought about this so long and hard. He's like, oh, this is going to be such a great moment right here. This is going to go viral. I'm going to have so many people, just so happy about this. I want to see, I'll have to look up the actual video and see if we can find it later on, but I just want to see how proud of himself he was.
He went on to reflect what it was like growing up in Queens, New York. He didn't know that people like me could be actors. What, retards? I'm sure there's space for you. At 15, I didn't know the word representation, but I saw a lot of brown face. He said, pointing out varied actors. God damn it. A portrayal of Latin characters despite not being of Latin descent, including Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, and Natalie Wood. Everybody played us except us. I didn't see a lot of people on TV that looked like me, Leguizamo said. Of course, there was always Ricky Ricardo, also mentioning the Looney Tunes cartoon mouse Speedy Gonzales and his lethargic, useless sidekick, Slowpoke Rodriguez. And that's how we saw ourselves, because that's all we saw of ourselves. Imagine this being your... I only frame a reference for who I could be as a person with Speedy Gonzales. That's all I had. Without somebody on TV that looked like me, all I knew how to do was run around.
If you've heard of this guy talk over the years, man, like this is par for the course for him. It completely unhinged.
That's 5 Latinx nominees being honored tonight. We need more stories from excluded groups, Black, Jewish. Yeah, there's definitely not enough Jewish representation in Hollywood. Arab, LGBTQ plus, and he did include himself, disabled. And this show tonight is proof that our industry is making progress.
Kill me, man. Just it's over with. It's awful. I did find, and this is the equivalent of him right here. I just found it right here. Chris Christie just so proud of himself when he read that Donald Duck line. You can tell Chris Christie really thought his Donald Duck line was going to kill. Here we go, right here.
Here to answer for that, but he's not. And I want to look at that camera right now and tell you, Donald, I know you're watching. You can't help yourself. I know you're watching, okay? And you're not here tonight, not because of polls and not because of your indictments. You're not here tonight because you're afraid of being on the stage and defending your record. You're ducking these things. And let me tell you what's going to happen. You keep doing that, no one up here is going to call you Donald Trump anymore. We're going to call you Donald Duck.
He practiced that shit for so
he had to, like,
long.
lead into it like so hard.
Look at the look, dude.
Yeah, we've all had jokes that we thought were gonna land a little better than they did. Maybe
That
none of
was-
them on a debate stage like that, though.
That was rough, man. That was rough. Holy shit. So that to me is what I imagine John Leguizamo's DEI joke was he was like, man, this is gonna kill, this is gonna crush, I'm gonna
I'm
go
sure
viral.
in that room, everybody was
Oh,
fucking
100%.
applauding. Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Man. Chris Bolts for Ryan. Am I racist is a true story. You know, I love you, baby boy, but I got to tell the truth. Hey, me and Matt Walsh share that journey. Gal Pal Val for 10. Went and saw Am I Racist yesterday. Hopefully another dagger into the heart of wokeness. Absolutely hilarious. Highly recommend. Good crowd in the theater. And it's California. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, I wonder how many people will have no idea what that's about and walk into it. I don't think very many, because I just don't think walk-up business is a big thing anymore at theaters.
yeah, but there will be, like, the idea of it releasing in theaters is huge. And it's a game changer. So for a lot of people, so there's gonna be a lot of people that absolutely would have never seen this movie if it was on, was it Daily Wire Plus? Is that their streaming deal or whatever?
I think so,
there's how many people I don't know, but it's a really good title to a movie that is going to reach beyond its target demo by that title alone. So people are like, what the hell is this?
Fuck liberals, right? It's a title that could make people that completely disagree with the message behind it walk into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Matt Walsh is really good at that. I mean, he's really good at that. So the what is a woman deal, like, that's a line that's just continuing to this day to be utilized, you know, against these woke freaks when they try to talk about how, like, we stand with the women. What is a woman? A woman is anyone that identifies as a woman. You're like, what the fuck does that mean? Makes no sense. You can't answer the question.
John Getz for 2. Shout me out instead of Mike just to piss him off.
100% behind that. To hell with Mike.
Critical Reads for 10. The indie comics book scene has so many amazing stories. Untapped potential for great movies. Butt Sexton for 2. Thoughts on Predator Hunting Grounds?
Yeah, so I brought up Buck Sexton on my screen. No. They thought it. They're like, what kind of name is Butt Sexton? And I'm like, his name's not Butt Sexton, it's Buck Sexton. And then we kind of got into a discussion about unfortunate names. So I had to bring up
RNC when we were there.
Yeah, I had to bring up what I think is the most unfortunate name in sports history.
Dick Butkus?
No, not. And I mentioned that one, but I brought up NASCAR driver Dick Trickle. Dick Trickle is a bad name. Yeah, it's a really bad name. Dick Butkus.
I would just go by
either.
Richard.
Yeah,
Richard Trickle.
It's still not a good name either.
There's not. I don't know if there is a good first name you can put in front of Trickle. Ryan Trickle, Jeremy Trickle.
Ryan Trickle does sound like a NASCAR driver. Like, you sound like a NASCAR driver prodigy. Ryan Trickle. Yeah. Yeah.
Bobby Labonte. Chikara, Epic Mike is great on daily. Have him as a host more often instead of Ryan, so Ryan can be on TNME. Everyone wins. Jeremy Fix.
Except for Ryan.
The reason I would rather do an episode of Daily than an episode of Tuesday's Main Event. One, because it's only a fucking hour. And two, because with all the fucking people on that panel, I talk more in a fucking hour of Daily than I would on 4 hours of Tuesday night's Main Event just sitting there.
That's true.
Jeremy Figamus Prime for 10. Mini shills. Wish death upon me. Jizz in my eye, Ryan, I can't see. In the fellowship, I'm an OG. And Soycock's trying to take my money. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Thank you, Jeremy. Papa Sergio. Plex has the best UI, in my opinion, and the best watch together feature.
Somebody said Netflix has they have a patent on their UI or whatever in the chat. I don't know if that's true.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, it's their proprietary technology, right? So
yeah,
like that's one of the reasons it's so much better is because they were doing it and had worked out the kinks for so much longer before all these other people started.
Same with like YouTube. Theirs. You know, it's why
exactly.
YouTube is so much better than something like Rumble, but Rumble's getting there, you know. Yeah. But yeah, that's why like Twitter was always better than something like a Parler when it came around, or any of these new sites that popped up. It's like Twitter's been doing this forever. If you go back and look at like Facebook and Twitter in the early days, they were really shitty, and it evolved into like shitty by today's standards. And you look back on you look at YouTube in the early days, which I honestly think YouTube in the early days had a lot more personality than it does now.
Live videos and DMs and stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
B-Chain for 5, but what about The Sandlot, Ryan? One of the best sports movies. I like Sandlot, but I mean, anyone my age that grew up around where I grew up spent time outside playing fucking baseball and shit like that. So there's a lot of that's relatable. I didn't spend any time hanging out with fucking retards in caves and hunting buried treasure. So I don't know. All right. Raven Black Sparrow for 5. Can I get a shout out? As of today at 8:15 a.m., I've completed 58 rotations around the sun. Happy birthday, Raven Black Sparrow, 58 years old.
Happy birthday.
I'm glad you still have the will to live.
Ryan won't at that age.
Barely do now. John Getz, Steelers, the worst 2-0 division leader ever. Yeah, they're very bad. They're not a good team.
Are you happy Justin Fields is going to lead them to a Super Bowl?
That ain't happening. Justin Fields might lead Mike Tomlin to another mediocre season, but like that's what you're gonna get. It's literally just gonna be run, you know, 2 or 3 4-yard chunks. And they won, unlike the Bears yesterday. But seeing so many of these like fucking absolute retards saying, "Oh, Caleb Williams is just Justin Fields 2.0," you are a retarded fuck, and you have no idea. You've never watched football in your fucking life. If you can't see what Caleb Williams is doing in his second game at the line of scrimmage in terms of actually running an offense or trying to run an offense, is far beyond anything Justin Fields does now, even in his like 5th year in the league, you're fucking dumb. And I can't help you. And I don't want to anyway. Goji the King, member for 13 months. If they make a new Goonies, they can have Tua as Sloth. With the amount of concussions, he could fit the part. D's Webos for 5. Ryan, what do you think of last night's game? Both QBs have bright futures. Good luck to your Bears and go Texans. Yeah, I was talking to Jeremy a little bit before. One of those interceptions, really bad play by him. The other was essentially, hey, 3rd and fucking long. It's essentially like a short punt, so I didn't have too much of a problem. But the one he threw in a triple coverage instead of taking the guaranteed first down to Roma Dunze underneath, that was a bad decision by Caleb Williams. The Texans are a good team. They're a good team.
Really,
so
yes.
I was happy with the fact that we still had a chance at the end, but clearly I think they got to work on the play calling a little bit to get more. Here's the biggest problem I have. I'm really tired of seeing the wide receiver screens where you're just throwing straight down the fucking line of scrimmage, because they're a little bit too predictable at this point. When I see those guys line up, you can almost tell, and defenses can tell too. And so you're starting off on 2nd and 2 or 2nd and 12. On a lot of these drives.
You're going to make us lose viewers, Ryan.
I don't
Talking
care.
sports.
I don't care.
Yorozura.
Tua will be back. That's all I care about.
Yorozuya for 5. I worked with Vince Vaughn before. Unironically, the biggest diva I've ever met.
Well, you haven't met Jay.
That's true. Tobias for 5. Comedy isn't an easy one to make, even back then. Mel Brooks and South Park do so well because nothing's really off limits and handled so well. Eddie Brock for 2. Jeremy and Ryan doing your Trump impressions, you figs.
Dude, don't do a good Trump impression. I'm terrible at it. I'm terrible at it.
I can do some people's impressions. I can't do Trump.
Yeah, like leave it. If you want a bad Trump impression, go to Beardo. Hit up Beardo, and he'll give you a terrible. He thinks it's good though, so keep telling him it's good when he does it to just encourage him to keep doing it. But we all know it's really bad.
Eddie, I just said that Jeremy's midnight gut for 5. Don't let him lie. Jeremy loves poop cookies. Logan Johnson for 5. Saw that video today in the drinker. The drinker, and all I did was go and laughed afterwards. What a damn joke.
Dude, I saw it. So drinker responded to Mundane Matt on Twitter. He tweeted him. This is the most. So did Matt Walsh. This is the most relevance he's had in a long time, dude. He's probably gonna get like a $12 Twitter check now. He's so happy.
More than me. I'm not monetized on Twitter.
You're not monetized?
I don't tweet enough to be monetized. Like,
I mean, even like I get like a couple $100 a month from Twitter. I don't tweet a ton.
I don't get anywhere close. You would tweet at least fucking once or twice a day.
Yeah,
at least.
I don't know. Let's see. Did I tweet yesterday? Well, I did because of the Trump thing. So, I mean, all my tweets were, I did 2 that were my live stream, and then I tweeted about the Trump stuff. So I tweeted a few times yesterday. Yeah. Before that, though, I went like I've only tweeted like before yesterday. It was September 14th, and I was just retweeting a couple of guys. So sometimes I tweet more
before yesterday, it was 2 days ago. Crazy.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, but those are just retweets. It's not like I actually tweeted anything. I don't tweet a whole lot.
You tweet a lot more than me.
I do tweet more than you. You don't tweet much at all.
No, I don't. Ron Cook, when do they do a movie about Trump? When they do a movie about Trump in 2035, they'll have a black female play Trump.
Yep.
I probably doubt that. Golden Nuggets for 5. Good riddance, DEI. Nobody's saying we'll miss you. Red Mage for 20. Jeremy, when you brought up racist jokes, I just thought of one of the Rush Hour movies where Jackie Chan says, "What up, my N-word?" since he was following Chris Tucker's lead in that scene. Funny because you don't expect it.
The Rush Hour. How many Rush Hour movies were there?
At least 3.
I feel like there was wasn't there talk of them bringing one like back several years ago, like making another one, but I feel like it wouldn't work. But those movies were great. Those were huge hits.
Christian Rocker for 5. The Star Wars fans supported the hate campaign against you. All are now saying that Trump is Palpatine and want him dead. We're the toxic ones.
Those that preach the loudest have the most to hide. Look at Dom H with the 199 hat and the Geeks Gamer shirt. That's what's up. Always makes me happy to see that.
John Getz for 5. He made money in the 93 Mario movie, and he's complaining about needing to be exceptional. Love how he has to completely change what DEI meant, too. Yeah, is John Leguizamo Italian?
Look, the whole thing is we didn't invent DEI. All these fucking weirdos in Hollywood, they're the ones that invented it, and they got roasted for it. Now you're changing the meaning of it because you're ashamed of it? That sounds like a win for everybody that's against this shit.
John Leguizamo is fucking Colombian. So why the fuck is he playing an Italian plumber?
Oh, yeah, that's been brought up a lot.
How fucking dare you, John Leguizamo? You're stealing Italians' jobs. Italians were discriminated against.
How dare you?
Son of a bitch. Keep playing Sid the Sloth. That's more up your fucking alley. Donald Duck. Cue Curb Your Enthusiasm. Played with a tuba. Fat. Sparian. 199. Thank you. Nagardnall. If Matt Walsh really wants to learn about culture, he needs to make What is a Gamer? He can start by interviewing Gary. Yeah, that'd be great.
That would be pretty good, actually.
John Getz survived. Ryan should watch Battle Royale. It's a kids movie where a bunch of high school kids have to murder each other. Also, TJ Watt will play quarterback to lead us to the Super Bowl. It wouldn't be bad. But Sexton for 2. What you all playing tonight, game wise?
I think it's Among Us tonight. I think they're playing Among Us. So Krista's making those decisions. So
you really get the G in there when you say among.
Among Us.
Yeah, you're like get the G in there. Like, you can really hear the G. I get lazy. I say Among Us, not
Among Us. Among Us.
Among.
Among.
Mike Hill, member for 42 months. Nintendo announced 2 new bundles releasing for Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, I mean, they're at the tail end of the Switch life cycle, so they're going to have to get all they can. It'll be interesting to see when they announce the Switch 2 or whatever the hell it's called. I can't wait. I'm excited about it. I actually might start making some Switch related rumor videos on this channel because all these fucking Nintendo channels are crying because their views are down and it's because you're fucking boring. Okay, most of your channels are just paint by the numbers, super safe, and they tried to. I've seen a lot, like Game Explain. They had to. I guess there was this big story about Game Explain having to lay off employees. Well, first of all, Game Explain is a very gay channel, literally and figuratively, and they've pushed politics into their company and used their brand to push their own left-wing politics. And now everybody's not watching your 1.5 million sub channel for some reason. Shockingly enough, you hired a bunch of fucking activists that pushed that stuff within the videos. So yeah, maybe we'll just take over the Nintendo game over here. We'll start making Nintendo videos. I'll show them how it's done. So I'll clickbait the fuck out of it. I'll put a fucking screaming SJW on there. Woke activists freak out over the Nintendo Switch 2. Don't have anything to do with it really. That's clickbait actually. That would be clickbait. Because there's not a whole lot of that.
Yeah, I don't care about Nintendo. That's really what kept me and Brie apart. Her passion for Nintendo, I just couldn't handle it. So I did want to talk about something else, and that is Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Assassins.
Ubisoft is coming off a pretty rough time with Star Wars Outlaws, disappointing sales numbers, stock hitting a decade low for them, and investors calling essentially to rip this company apart because of the failures they've had. Well, they've still got a very controversial game coming out this winter, or I guess this holiday season in November, and that's Assassin's Creed Shadows. We remember, Jeremy, when this world premiere trailer came out and immediately got completely and totally ratioed. Almost 600,000 dislikes to less than 300,000 likes for the first official reveal. And of course, it was confirmed that despite them finally giving fans what they'd been asking for over a decade, an Assassin's Creed game set in Japan, a couple years after Ghost of Tsushima did it better than Ubisoft will, they couldn't help themselves. One of the main characters, one of the playable characters had to be Yasuke, the fake black samurai. That, of course, has stirred a lot of people's feelings, including people in Japan. The Japanese people have completely and totally rejected this game. The ratios on the Japanese trailers are even worse than the English-speaking trailers. But that hasn't stopped Ubisoft from using the same tactics we've seen time and time again. Ubisoft runs to the New York Times to attack players in defense of Assassin's Creed Shadows. And of course, it's the typical playing victim that we see from all these people. We've been overwhelmed with so much hate and vile bigotry since we announced this game. And it's mostly coming from people in the West. The people in the East, they don't have any problem with our game. Japan crucified them for this.
Big time.
Big time. And now we have the latest trailer, which has already got some backlash of its own. There's not even any dialogue in this, Jeremy. It's just showing the world, right? One thing people noticed was the graphics on this horse that's walking by. Just watch this for a second. I don't have this sound on, but you don't need it. You see how the horse fucking the forward moonwalk?
Yes.
Look at this shit. Maybe it's because Yasuke's on it, so the horse just goes immediately a little faster. I'm not sure how that works. But Ubisoft got accused of essentially botting the comment section and things like that, and that's the new backlash against them. Ubisoft accused of buying bots to promote Assassin's Creed Shadows because there was stuff like this. Are we watching the same trailer? This looks incredible. Not y'all turning into Japanese historians. Can I just enjoy a game without being a history nerd? The attention to detail is actually mind-blowing here.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real. There's always a big outcry over bots and things like that in Twitter comment section. Bots are all over the internet. In our comment sections, I guarantee you, when we first put out a video. I don't
First
know about
10
Geeks and
comments.
Gamers, Jeremy,
No,
but for me,
it
the
is.
first 10 comments are
It's always that.
it's like, this is just so amazing. I love your work, blah, blah, blah. And it's always some like OnlyFans slut or something. They're just desperate for you to click on their shit. And like potentially 1 out of every 1,000 people that click on a comment might actually go to their page. Who knows? That's how a lot of bot stuff works on Twitter as well. But perception is reality. And right now they're getting even more backlash after getting accused of botting this comment section. Ubisoft, how fake do you want the comments to be? Investor. Yes. You guys noticed the pretty girl bots defending Ubisoft are all created a month apart? Investing value for a good game? No. Investing money to buy reviews and comments? Yes. Dislikes update right there. Imagine being a quadruple A company and needing to do bot comments.
I kind of doing the dislike updates.
It's great because most people can't see it.
Yeah,
Most people cannot see this.
Yeah, I every video I get where I mention dislikes, I got 100 people going like, "How do you see those? How do you see those?" Because most people don't even know about it. That's why we repeat ourselves a lot because it's like sports radio. It's like talk radio. I don't even want to say sports radio. If you ever listen to talk radio or sports radio back in the day, every 15 or 20 minutes they kind of start repeating the topic. Because you're getting a new audience in every 15 or 20 minutes. And but yeah, there's a dislike extension that you can get, a Chrome extension, and that tells you. And no, it's not 100% accurate, but it's close enough, and it gives you very good guidelines. I've matched up the dislike extension to some of my videos, and it's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate. Even though Mr. Beast and his team tried to lie and say that it's not accurate, it's 100%. Like it's within the ball. It's within the ballpark for sure.
Do you have anything to say about Assassin's Creed?
In terms of Assassin's Creed, look, I talked to you about this. How do you think this is going to sell, considering that they've kind of been on a decline with the last few games? Do you think this is going to absolutely fall off a cliff, or do you think that they're going to meet their initial sales numbers? Because it feels like this game is not going to perform well.
I think that it's going to be significantly less than when they first had this concept and came up with this idea of Assassin's Creed in Japan, finally giving a lot of fans what they've been asking for over a decade. I think it's going to fall significantly short of that. This is going to outsell Star Wars Outlaws, certainly, probably by a decent margin. It still is an Assassin's Creed game in the franchise. But I don't think we're going to see an Odyssey or Valhalla or sales numbers like that for this. I think we're looking at significantly less.
No.
And when you're a company that is based off, off these people having a perception of how it's going to perform, right? That's the reason their stock is at a 10-year low, because they told people Star Wars Outlaws was going to do this, and then it didn't. It came significantly short of that. And I think there's a lot of people worried that we're going to see a similar reaction to Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I don't know how much money they tied up in this, and how long it was in development for, but they certainly expect a big payday from this. And I just don't think they're going to get what they're expecting.
I imagine that this has a insane budget behind it. I imagine they've put a lot behind this, and the fact that they are essentially running, as that Park Place says, essentially running to the New York Times, to run defense for them. This is where the desperation starts to come into play, where now they're trying to create fake controversy. They're trying to create fake support of it. And again, as you said, that's not isolated to anything, but it is starting to seem like they're now like, okay, we've really screwed up after the failure of Concord and how massively a big of a failure that was. I think they're probably panicking pretty bad right now. I've never played the Assassin's Creed games consistently or anything like that, so it's not a franchise I'm overly familiar with, but I know how successful they were, and I know that they've kind of been declining. And so I think my gut feeling is that this could be a huge failure for them. Doesn't mean that it's not going to sell. It's just like The Last of Us Part 2, how that was a huge step back for Naughty Dog, but it still sold a lot because it was based off of an IP that people loved. This is still going to, as you said, probably sell a lot more than Star Wars Outlaws, but I think it's going to have an initial bump. I don't think that there's going to be people that are going to be going to this game based on word of mouth, like a lot of other top tier games would.
Like, I'm pretty sure Assassin's Creed Valhalla, even though I don't think it was a strong entry in the franchise, I still think that's a game that did over $1 billion in revenue for Ubisoft when it was all said and done, right? That's a lot of fucking money. And I think that there's a difference between Assassin's Creed fans who want the franchise to get a little maybe more back to its roots versus the reality of how big the player base has gotten and how much money they're making off fucking DLC and shit like that. So I'm not exactly sure what to expect with this game. I do know this. There's been more backlash and more controversy surrounding this game than Star Wars Outlaws, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
But I think the bottom, like the floor for this game, just because it is still Assassin's Creed, is much higher than probably even the ceiling for Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah. Well, Star Wars is a broken brand altogether, but even like Outlaws, there was just no one was looking at that. There was no real excitement for that game at all. How many do we know what the sales are for that right now?
We're not going to know for a while.
Yeah.
We know that they lowered their sales expectations from 8 million by the next fiscal year, which would be like March 2025 or whatever, to they lowered that from what 8 million to less than 5 million. So to put it, think about it this way, Jedi Fallen Order by that point in time at about the same time frame had sold around 10 million copies.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're estimating it's going to be probably less than half of that for Star Wars Outlaws.
Ubisoft's got a pretty tainted brand at this point in time. They still have they're still like, I think, isn't what is it? X Defiant. Isn't X Defiant? I know you're not going to know this, but I'm asking the chat. Isn't X Defiant really considered pretty much a failure for them and how they released that one? I liked the beta for X Defiant. I didn't love it. It was fine, but it got presented as a Call of Duty killer. And then I feel like they missed their window and it took forever to release the game. And now X Defiant's come out and it's just like nobody's really even playing it from what I understand.
Well, there's nothing that's going to be a Call of Duty killer.
No,
realistically,
no.
It's just I don't see that happening anytime soon, if ever. I think we're going to be 100 years old and we're going to Call of Duty Black Ops 75.
Black
it'll be the same people complaining about the same shit. Like in terms of, I'm in the beta. There's already people hacking. Yeah,
Black Ops. I'm enjoying Black Ops 6. So I mean, the Call of Duty community fucking hates it on YouTube. But I enjoyed Black Ops 6, so we'll see how that turns out. But anyway, fuck Ubisoft. That's essentially what it comes down to. Which is the worst company, Ubisoft or EA?
Ubisoft still has like franchises that have a lot of people interested in them, right? Like the Tom Clancy stuff, like Assassin's Creed. I don't know if they're ever going to do a Watch Dogs game again. I really liked the first one. I didn't like the second one all that much. But we'll see. I'm going to be really interested to see how exactly Assassin's Creed Shadows performs. Because on one hand, it's the setting which everyone's been asking for forever. But they also did what we see happen in this DEI woke agenda world, which is put their politics ahead of actually entertaining people and giving people what they want. Be chained for 2. He was also Tybalt in Romeo and Juliet. John Leguizamo. Little Orphan Funkhauser. Ryan, Monday evening quarterback tonight. Also, Jeremy equals Fig. Yeah, we'll do Monday evening quarterback tonight. Around 7 o'clock Eastern. John Getz for 2. Woke Concord fan freaks out over Astrobot success.
Too bad Astrobot's not really a success, though, at this point. The sales are not great. Not great.
Sir Hat for 2. Saw Am I Racist? Thought it was pretty funny. Good.
I want to watch it. I'm going to try to hit it up. I'm going to try to do some point this week. Everybody that's seen it has seemed to enjoy it.
Among Us.
With the profile picture.
John Getz, this live stream is quite inspirational and very informative. I love it when Ryan Kinnell and Jeremy Griggs talk about subjects like gaming. Basically. Sup, man, for 2. Dude in Florida was in a BlackRock commercial.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff coming out about that guy.
Matt Cave Gaming for 10. He was in a Gideon video.
Yeah.
Like he seems like a big activist, right? Matt Cave Gaming for 10. Haven't been there in a long time. YouTube lead me back, and I'm glad it did. Happy to see you guys back in my feed. Too few places where disagreeing's okay. Keep up the awesome work.
Hey, thanks, man. It's good to see you here.
Matt Cave Gaming. Logan Johnson for 10. I'd be surprised if it gets above Mirage's sales. It'll definitely sell more than Outlaws, but that's about it. I think it'll do more than Mirage. Mirage is one of those, like, again, it's like you see these kind of halfway in between Assassin's Creed that get released without quite as much fanfare. That's kind of what Mirage was. I think it'll do better than that, but we'll see. Yasuke, I can't say that last name.
I saw it. I
but
saw
thank
that
you.
one.
Let's see. Mighty Megatron for 2. What do spiders and people have in common? When they're black, they kill you. That's not very nice. But thank you, Mighty Megatron. A buck on Rumble from Bronsonite. Good morning, you fuckers. Hey, is that Snapcap at 221B? What are you referring to as a flex fit hat? Just curious. It's not a snapback. It fucking flexes to fit your fat head.
Yes, and that's them right there. So tomorrow, this campaign ends on the IDOT shirt and the Flex Fit Geeks and Gamers online original 199 hat. Tomorrow, it's done. You're not going to be able to get these shirts. They're not going to be available at the meetup. So go over to 221B. We've got mods dropping links in the chat right now. So IDOT, which was a character that was created on this show because of the chat. So that is IDOT. That's the first time we've ever shown you IDOT. So there he is, IDOT of the 199. This is for the San Antonio meetup. So make sure you go over there if you're interested. And then also the Flex Fit hats, which it has the Geeks Gamers logo, online original since 199 on the front. And then on the back, you've got that. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Ryan, what do you got going on, man?
Nothing. Just making videos.
That's it. A lot of positivity from Ryan. A lot of positivity. Thank you, mods, for dropping the links over there. And we'll close this out tomorrow night over on Tuesday night's main event. So we will have Cobra Cast tonight. I will have Cobra Cast over my D-Day Cobra channel. And then we have gaming on the Geeks Gamers Play channel. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you do it. All right, what do we got?
Will you be doing Black Ops 6 live streams, Jeremy? If so, are you going to make Beardo play too? If he doesn't get owned by password creation again, that is. Hail Warwolf.
Hail Warwolf. Yes, I will be streaming it. I do have a couple of streams over in my D-Day Cobra gaming channel of me playing Black Ops 6 for the beta. So if anybody wants to go check that out, you can. But yeah, I'll be playing the hell out of that game.
Ryan's Thrift Shop Toupee. Life's tough with this barnacle attached to me. Thank you. NDI for 2. We're both shooters in a BlackRock commercial. I don't know. The CJ Entertainment Plus. Any advice for content creators who want to grow?
Make videos.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really.
I've been telling Jeremy for a while.
Yeah, make videos. Like look at. I mentioned Kada and the DA yesterday. Both those guys have been making videos. DA hit 20,000. Kada hit 3. He got denied for YouTube partnership, and I'm not sure why. Like he it's really weird that he got denied. I need to look and see exactly what's going on with that. Maybe he's got some stuff in his. He just hit 3,000 subscribers, but yeah, he had posted that he got denied for the partnership. I'm not sure why, so we need to look into that. But yeah, make videos on things that you're interested in, and make thumbnails that are going to make people click on it. Think about it from your perspective. As a viewer, what do you click on? Videos you're interested in with thumbnails that look interesting. That's what you have to do. That's it. So Tobias says, got Space Marine 2 online to work, turn off crossplay, and that mostly fixed it for anyone having trouble with that. Still got matchmaking issues. I want to play Space Marine 2. It looks a lot like Gears of War. It looks really good. I don't know how the multiplayer is. Make Josiah Rise's videos, says Gung Ho Mac. All right, guys. Thank you. Is that it? All right. So thank you, guys. Cobra Cast tonight and gaming over on the Geeks Gamers Play channel. Go to 221B. Get yourself a shirt. Get yourself a hat. It all closes out tomorrow. Have a good evening, and we'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.